Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another segment of Nobody's News, the only gaming news show on the internet brought to you by the Internet Nobodies. So, today we got a few things to talk about. We got some corporate greed, we got some possibilities, and we got some apologies, and maybe a really bad TV show. Those were the big things that really stood out to me this week, as well as many, many more. All right, so let's just jump right into this corporate greed. Starting off, we had the big thing with Activision and the new game Crash Bandicoot for It's About Time. Yeah, when you went to go pre-order it on the Xbox One store or the Microsoft store, it said that there were in-app purchases. Now, that got the internet in a stir, as to be expected, about there being possible microtransactions in the game, and then we have a lot of backlash coming out, against this, because last time Activision put out a Crash game was Crash Team Racing, and they didn't have any microtransactions in it until after all the reviews were done, and then you had all the reviewers having to go back and change shit because of the fact that there are now microtransactions. So we had the Toys for Bob official Twitter come out and state that there will be no microtransactions in the game, but the feeling is still one of, yeah, I feel like we've heard this one before. I hope they don't do it. Personally, I really think putting microtransactions in single-player games is scummy, and I really freaking hate Ubisoft for doing it. I don't know how you would really work them into, Crash Bandicoot, but I've seen weirder shit done by Activision. At the very least, they're probably going to be like skins or something. Hopefully that's just it, but I'm not going to hold my breath too much, because it is Activision after all. So it has been kind of rumored for a while that we would be seeing a change in prices with the new console generation, as games are getting more and more expensive to create and things like that. And me and James actually got into a bit of a back and forth over Discord about this particular topic, because it was announced that NBA 2K21, the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game, will be $70 approximately, $69.99 with tax at release. That's how much it's going to be. Here's my reason why I'm concerned about game prices going up. We're going into a more digital future, and I understand it is still more difficult to create games at this point, but I also see that we're going more towards the digital future, and it's like, why would I pay more for something I don't own and you can effectively take away from me at any point? That's a big argument for that side of it, and I understand that one, and I kind of align myself with that one. But at the same time, I understand that the companies need to make more revenue, because they're not adjusting how their bonuses and stuff work at these companies, and they're running off of almost a flawed business model, really, when you think about it. Now, that aside, why NBA? Why would Take-Two? Like, we're supposed to trust that game is going to be worth, like, $70 on top of its microtransactions? Or is there going to be more in it and no microtransactions? But I highly doubt that. So NBA 2K21 being the first game that we hear announce this, kind of concerning, because it's like, if that game is, the one that's riddled with microtransactions, that's effectively gambling, what is the rest of them going to look like? Because if it was like, let's just use Cyberpunk for an example. Big game, took a long time to develop, lots of hype, understandably, hopefully going to be good, just because it is CD Projekt Red and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, so we're going to be charging you $69.99 for the game to make up the cost that we spent to make the game. Cool. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. But NBA? That one That one almost feels like a little bit extra corporate greed on my end. But I understand both sides of this perspective. I'm interested to see if this is how it's going to continue. And if we are going into the all digital future, it almost would make sense to charge less for the games because they're getting a bigger cut of revenue than they would at a brick and mortar store. Maybe, just physical versions will go up in price. Maybe that'll incentivize the drive to an all digital future faster because if you want the game, it's cheaper to buy it on the console. Maybe that's the way we're going. I don't know. So, kind of shifting gears a little bit towards more PS5 compatibility, as well as talking about a little bit of Nintendo stuff, because we might as well, right? Anyway, so, starting off with the PS5 thing, we have a translated article that I found on Twitter. So, grab your spoons and then grab your shovels and hold them with salt. But it says here in this article from GameSpark Japan, once translated, it says that they are focusing on working PS4 games backwards compatible with PS5. So at least we know, at least from this, that we should be able to play PS4 on PS5. Which, great. They don't say anything, or they say there's nothing we can answer about backwards compatibility with PS1, 2, and 3. Which, I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm going to take this. I'll take this as at least a step, because if we have the discs, we can just pop them in. It'll work fine. Don't have to sign up for, like PlayStation Now or whatever it is. At least we have that. Now, I would absolutely love for us to get all of them backwards compatible. That would be great. I would love that. Absolutely love that. At least we have this step. Hopefully, as Xbox talks about it more, we'll see Sony kind of firing back with the other consoles, being like, oh yeah, by the way, here's backwards compatibility. Here's all the things we're supporting, or at least here's what we're working on supporting. That would be my hope. That's my hope and dream. We'll have to wait and see, but at least from this translated article, we can say that it will most likely have the PS4, which I'm excited about because I actually have a decent stack of games now that I look back at them. So, here's hoping. And Nintendo, I love you. I love you, Nintendo. You're a great, fantastic gaming company. You make a lot of dumb decisions, but I love you all the same. Now, my Joy-Cons. They done do the drift, as do many people's. And they actually apologized for the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con trouble. Nintendo president apologizes for Joy-Con trouble. By the way, as long as I remember, all of my sources should be linked in the description below. During a financial Q&A, the president of Nintendo apologized for Joy-Con drift, which, straight up, thanks. And they're going through the class action lawsuit, so they couldn't talk about too much about how they're going to do better, I guess. What are they going to do in the future to make this better? I'm hopeful that we are going to get an answer at some point, that the Joy-Cons are going to be upgraded or something. But at least they are completely recognizing it, and we are now getting a direct apology from the president of Nintendo. Hopefully, either his board or his investors can be like, yeah, let's like update the Joy-Cons and get them more up to snuff. But that's just me being kind of hopeful. As is most of these news things, I'm kind of hopeful about things. I think we will be seeing a massive update or a different model of the Joy-Cons coming soon, but we're going to have to wait and see how the class action lawsuit works out. But hey, depending on how it works out, you may be able to get some Nintendo money. I might be able to get some Nintendo money. And all we have to do is prove that we have drifting Joy-Cons. But you can still send in to Nintendo of America, I think, for free repair or a free exchange. The only problem I have with that one is there's still COVID, so it may not be open. I'm not quite sure about that one. Anyway, good to see that Nintendo is, apologizing. So we do have a little bit of a Nintendo Direct rumor as well. Now the thing is I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but apparently this guy, last time there was a big, direct, the mini direct, he called it spot on the date, and he's back. So he didn't say that there would be a date with this one, but they were talking to on Twitter. There was a guy, he's just like Jeff Gubb's Summer Game Mess. I'll have it linked below in the description, and it's talking about all of the like big things that are going to be happening and events that we're going to watch on online this year because there's no E3. And then at the very bottom, it's wild card Nintendo. Who knows what it'll do? And then this guy just replies, "You forgot Nintendo Direct in July." So he announced, or he leaked, or talked about the mini direct that we had back in March on the 26th. He said that. However, he didn't put a date with this one. But if there is a direct this month, I'll be big and happy. I will be the big happy. I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll be seeing that very soon. I would love to see what else Nintendo has planned for this year, because apparently everything's still on track. I don't know. I'm hopeful. It has also occurred to me that I should just make the tagline of this show, "I'm hopeful," because I'm going to be hopeful, and then all my hopes and dreams are going to be crushed by this fucking industry. Whoo boy. Okay, so this is the last thing I kind of want to close with today, outside of the announcement corner. I forgot what I called it. Anyway, not the point. This is what I kind of wanted to close out today's show with, and it's a doozy. It's coming at us from Amazon and Bethesda, so it's going to be good. Amazon is going to be producing a Fallout TV show. Yep, a Fallout series TV show. So here's my predictions for the show. It's going to completely bug out, and then we're going to have the main character, played by whoever, just shoot up into the sky, and they're going to do 14 somersaults, and that's going to be the entire series. It'll be all done in the Creation Engine Part 2. It's going to be great. But in all seriousness, though, this is kind of interesting. So they teased it on Twitter. Please stand by. It's an Amazon original. I'm kind of excited. And then they have the so they're going to be working with Kelter Films to be bringing us this series. There's not a whole lot about it. It does say that Todd Howard was involved, so I'm more sure that my expectation is going to happen now. But hopefully we get to see something very interesting. So apparently this is going to be, it's going to go into the magic of Fallout, and by that I mean, of course, they're going to be talking about how the nukes drop and in the war in 2077. Hopefully we get to see more of the war and stuff like that before the nukes drop and stuff like that. It really doesn't say what we should be expecting. But all I know is that this is now announced, it's in development, and yeah, we can expect that on Amazon's, either, I'm going to guess, Amazon Prime TV or whatever, Amazon Video. All I know is this is going to be sweet, I hope. As long as it's not made in Creation Engine and is actually a live action, I feel like they can't have the bugs of Fallout in there. But I feel like they're going to be, that's going to take away some of the charm. So maybe they'll put in some Easter egg bugs for us with just having a man slingshot across the sky. Anyway, that's something. Let me know what you think of this TV show down in the comments below. I'm actually interested because I'm both excited and terrified. Because video game stuff just never usually works on the big screen. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week of Nobody's News. I want to kind of let you guys know what to be looking out for this week. I don't know of many big games releasing right now. I do know that Ghosts and Paper Mario are coming out in about a week or so. So keep an eye out for those. But Ubisoft is also doing a big event like this week. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're a Scott Pilgrim fan, really do, because they've been hinting about some shit for a while, and I'm hoping that we get an announcement that it's going to be brought back, and or it's a shadow drop, which I would also be okay with. You can also get free Watch Dogs 2 on Uplay on PC if that interests you at all during their event this week. So, with that all out of the way, thank you guys for watching Nobody's News here on the Internet Nobody's channel. If you liked it, subscribe and hit the like button below, as well as hit the bell for notifications so you can see more of what we post. Outside of that, I will see you guys tomorrow with my That Game Review show.